Today, we're comparing the three Lego Burrow sets from 2010, 2020, and 2024. We'll consider minifigs, building experience, pieces, value, and my overall opinion to determine which of the three is best. And given that you can find plenty of copies of the 2020 version for sale online, whether you should buy that one or the much larger and more expensive collector's edition that just came out. Let's start with the minifigs, and particularly those that are common across all three sets. I will note that both the 2010 and 2020 versions are associated with the Half-Blood Prince movie, which influenced which minifigs we received. The first is Arthur Weasley. The 2010 version is a light blue pants, sand green open jacket look with a slightly worn face. Fast forward 10 years and Arthur's fashion makes him look a little older with dark blue pants, a largely tan knit sweater, and a tie underneath. His face isn't quite as worn though. In the 2024 version, he comes with reddish-brown pants, a sand green open jacket concept, but with a vest, button-down shirt, and bow tie combination. He has mastered the layering concept, and his face is back to being worn. Notably, none of the minifigs here come with printed legs, but I really like the inclusion of Arthur's hat in the 2024 set, as that is on point, and I think makes that one the best of the lot. For Molly Weasley, we get peak at-home Molly in 2010 with a nougat-colored apron torso and printed legs. The face has a wide grin and is unique to the set. The dark orange hair isn't unique, but only appeared in two sets in this color. 2020 Molly has a fuller face, knit sweater, non-printed nougat-colored sloped legs, and shoulder-length hair. The lack of printing on the skirt piece really stands out as a detriment to this version. For 2024 Molly, we have a slightly younger face along with a very different torso. It's a sand green floral robe with leg printing, and check out the arm printing as well. Her hair hasn't changed too much over the years, and like the Arthur minifig, I like the 2024 version best. For Harry Potter, the non-Hogwarts Harry is a common figure in the theme, and all three Burrows contain one. In the 2020 version, we have dark blue pants, a dark red shirt with light blue jacket, and that doesn't quite match up with the scenes in the movie. The 2010 version is a bit better with the dark blue jacket and gray shirt. The 2024 version is very well done with the dark red and red striped torso and light gray shirt underneath. This one is a tie between 2010 and 2024 Harry Potter. Next, Ginny Weasley. The Ginnies are not as good as the Molly or Arthur minifigs across the board. The Half-Blood Prince is such an undersaturated movie that it's hard to tell the color of her shirt, but when Harry arrives at the Burrow, she might be wearing a sand green shirt and dark pants, so 2010's wardrobe isn't too bad. But the minifig face isn't quite right. It just doesn't look much like Ginny. 2020 is perhaps better in that regard, and I appreciate the leg printing. The 2024 version is okay, as 11-year-old Ginny is wearing a robe when Harry first arrives at the Burrow, and the set delivers us that, but with unprinted purple legs. However, I think the face printing is better in this set than the others. It's a tight race, but I'm going to go with the 2020 version of Ginny. The rest of the 2010 minifigs include Bellatrix Lestrange and Fenrir Greyback. Bellatrix is a strong minifig here. Her black dress with silver printing is excellent, although there is too much shadowing around her eyes. Fenrir is suitably scary with his dark outfit, open shirt, and slick-backed hair. I'm not sure the bright pupils are quite right, but this is a very good minifig. The rest of the 2020 lineup again includes Bellatrix and Fenrir, along with Ron and Nymphadora Tonks. These are a bit of a mixed bag in terms of quality, as Bellatrix's dress torso is well done, but the lack of leg or skirt printing is a problem. Fenrir, on the other hand, has some leg printing, which makes him a better minifig compared to 2010, as the rest of the minifig is pretty similar. Ron Weasley is, well, Ron. The minifig itself isn't too special, with a dark red sweater and red shirt with dark pants. But the Nymphadora Tonks minifig is fantastic with her short dark hair, dark torso with dark red sleeves, and dark pants. In 2024, we get the entire Weasley family, including young Ron with his checkered shirt, Fred and George with their striped sweater vests, and Percy in his PJs. The younger Weasley boys are all excellent and Percy's is close to being great, but I think needed some leg printing. Of course, by including the whole Weasley clan, we're getting Charlie and Bill for the first time ever. Bill has a great torso with his jacket, dark blue shirt, and light blue frills. But again, the lack of leg printing is just not quite right. Now, we never see Charlie in the movies as best as I can tell, but I love his torso, scraggly face printing, and unkempt hair. If ever there was a Dragon Hunter minifig in Lego, this would be it. One other interesting tidbit that I noticed in building these sets, almost every minifig from the 2010 and 2020 versions comes with a wand. The 2010 minifigs had the 4L bars, where the 2020 minifigs had the newish wand elements. However, there is nary a wand in the 2024 set, which strikes me as very odd. All told, I'm going to go with the 2010 version in third place, 2020 in second, and 2024 for the win, largely based on the superiority of the Molly, Arthur, Fred, and George minifigs, plus PJ Percy. For us, building together is more than just a channel name, and with larger sets, multiple instruction booklets is a must. The 2010 and 2024 versions have that, the 2021 does not. That said, I can tell you right now that the 2010 Burrow is going to come in last place here. Compared to the more recent LEGO sets, this was a snooze to build. Yes, it's the smallest of the group, but there aren't any interesting building techniques or anything else too exciting. There's a lot of studs up building with just a couple of tiles used as angled wooden slabs. There is some texture with some of the windows jutting out a stud, a reasonable kitchen space that is sparsely detailed, and some cramped bedrooms. To be fair, it's under 600 pieces, but the build is really bland, especially when it compares to the other versions. So that means this one comes down to the 2020 versus the 2024 Burrows, and the 2020 certainly has its virtue. The pig pen is decently conceived. There are different roof angles mixed in at a variety of levels, tilted upper levels, a nice snot awning, hinges to open up the different sections, nice exterior wood paneling, a functioning flue network in the fireplace, and some interior details. Basically, there's enough here to keep you engaged in the build, and the Easter eggs are solid. For its size, you really can't complain. Of course, the larger stature of the 2024 Burrow also makes it a more interesting, albeit much longer, build. The subtleties of multiple angles, whether the roof sections, jutting windows, snotted wood paneling, or other details, make this a lot of fun to build, and then there are more important things on top of that, like the incredibly detailed interior at all levels, the jankety wood supports on the first level, the different roof textures at different levels, and so on and so forth. This really was a fun building experience. Thus, the verdict here is the same as it was with the minifigs. 2024 wins by just a bit, followed by 2020, and then 2010. I know you're going to think here that the 2010 version doesn't stand much of a chance, but that's not true. Yes, it's the smallest of the sets, but it has some great pieces, especially when you look at its era. The dark red roof slopes to this day are great pieces. The 45-degree 2x2 double concave and 45-degree 2x2 double convex corner slopes are still, to this day, relatively rare. The 2x3 slope has only come in 3 sets in dark red in LEGO's entire history. The Nougat Pig only came out in 4 2010 sets, which makes it tougher to find them on Bricklink. Plus, there are a bunch of 1x2 tiles, tan bricks, and windows. I also want to point out an interesting tidbit, that medium Nougat bricks were brand new at the time. You got over 60 regular bricks in the set, which was over 11% of all building elements included. That's a pretty good ratio for just one color of bricks, and added significantly to my collection at that time. The 2020 version also does well with pieces. The sand blue windows are fantastic, as is the variety of colors throughout. The red slopes are useful, albeit not as rare as those included in the 2010 version. In fact, this is a pretty consistent theme for this set. Utility over rarity. Nothing is really all that unique in terms of pieces in this set, but you can use all 1,000 plus of them in your mocks. It's just a solid part selection all the way around. The 2024 Burrow is similar. In my review of this set, I did note some of the new and rare pieces, and I'm not going to rehash all of that here. But it's important to note that these pieces comprise a pretty low share of the total piece count, of which there are around 2,400. The key here is that, like the other two versions, these are useful pieces that fit well into your collection, especially if you enjoy building structures. There are plenty of roof slopes, a ton of snot bricks, dark tan tiles, windows in various sizes, other modified bricks, and more. So while it might be tempting to go with 2024 here just because of its overall numeric advantage, I'm going with a surprise here and putting the 2010 version in first place because it still has some rare parts, and the high percentage of bricks was really nice to see. 2020 and 2024 are very close. I'll give the slight nod to 2020 just because of the pound for pound piece selection that you get. Value is everyone's favorite category, given how objective we LEGO fans view value. And, okay, I'm kidding. This category is multifaceted, consisting of display, monetary, and fan value. Let's start with fan value. The 2010 Burrow was the OG. Not only that, but it was part of the rejuvenation of the Harry Potter theme, as there had only been one set over the prior 5 years. So it meant something to fans when it came out. The 2020 version was a serious effort to make the Burrow a strong overall Lego set, something that I think was lacking in 2010. To do this, Lego packed in cool details on the interior to make this special for fans. Now, in some ways, the 2024 version copied this approach, making it the least unique set in this way, although the sheer volume of details made this really fun to build as a Harry Potter fan. Monetary value is also very difficult to assess, as there are flaws looking at the price per piece ratio or some sort of price per pound. But I do think it's telling that the 2010 version currently sells for more than the 2020 version on Bricklink, at least for new copies. Now, that may be a product of the time that has passed since the 2010 version came out, but it does make the 2020 Burrow fairly accessible to consumers still to this day. The 2024 Burrow has the worst price per piece ratio of the three when it was released, followed by 2010 and then 2020. The fact that you can still find new copies of the 2020 Burrow today for around $100 to $110 makes it a strong value for purchasing, albeit not so strong for those looking to resell at a high price. Display value is, understandably, an easy call for this one. 2024 just imposes its will on the others with its superior size, details, and ability to hold up well next to other large 18 plus sets. But 2020 isn't too bad, considering that it only needs to look complete from one angle. The 2010 version looks okay next to other sets of its era, but it just doesn't pack the display punch you might want as an adult, nor is it as recognizable as the other versions. So if you're on a budget or you don't really care about the 3-inch height gap and 8 stud length advantage for the newest version over the 2020 version, then I would actually recommend getting the 2020 version. In second place comes 2024, with 2010 pulling up the rear in terms of value. After considerable thought and internal debate, the pick for the best Burrow is easy. It is, in a crazy twist of events, the 2022 Advent Calendar Burrow. Okay, I'm just kidding, although Autumn really does love how cute the mini version is. I remember being all excited about the 2010 Burrow, and honestly, it just doesn't do anything for me anymore. It served its purpose, blazed new ground, and gave us something worth buying, even if it was something that was immediately taken apart and used for mocks. It's just an odd set with a large protruding front canopy, a swinging gate separating the pig pen from the inside of the house, no real interesting building techniques, and weak overall value. The tougher question is, how do I rank the 2020 and 2024 versions? I've spent a lot of time thinking about this, and to me it comes down to one key difference, that the 2020 version took everything that was good about the 2020 Burrow and made it better. It's slightly bigger, has bedrooms for every Weasley family member living at home during the movies, has the most minifigs, improves upon the quantity of Easter eggs, provides more coherent room arrangement, utilizes more interesting building techniques, has more pieces, and promotes a family building experience. In fact, just some of the ratings from the other sections really helped me put this one on the top. So it gets the nod over the 2020 version in a decision that I spent way too much time thinking about. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. While you're at it, subscribe to the channel, check out one of our other videos, and always remember to keep building together.